Hi everyone. We are back again with another episode of our series where we discuss and declutter some of the important national and international issues of great relevance to all of you. And today, one of such topics that we're going to discuss is British exit from the European Union. So a lot of you requested that, sir, Brexit is something that we wish to know about. It's very complicated. As you know, 3, 4 prime ministers changed the time that the Brexit process was going on in the in UK. So my aim today is that I will explain to you how did European Union come into picture, how did it originate, how did UK became part of it, and subsequently what was this entire Brexit, how did it start, how did it conclude, what is the current position. All of that I hope I am able to discuss today with all of you, and I hope all of you will be able to learn from it. Now, firstly, let's look at the history of European Union. So in 1957, France, West Germany, Belgium, Italy, Luxembourg, and Netherlands, they signed what we call the Treaty of Rome. Now, Treaty of Rome created something called European Economic Community, EEC. This was the predecessor of the European Union, and the idea was that because the entire Europe was ravaged by World War II, if the countries trade together among each other, it will be very difficult for them to go to war. So they started this EEC, European Economic Community. The first time Britishers tried to be part of it, UK tried to be part of it in 1963. But in 1963, the application of United Kingdom was blocked, was vetoed by France. Charles de Gaulle was the president at that point of time. Again, UK tried in 1973, and finally UK was able to successfully become part of the EEC. Now, just after 1973, within 2 years, there was a referendum conducted in UK in which the question again was, should UK be part of the economic community? And overwhelmingly, obviously, 67% of the people voted that they would want to be part of EEC. Now, in between, there were a lot of issues which came up between United Kingdom and the Europe. Some were pertaining to the export of beef in European Union. Then there were some issues with export of chocolate. So constantly there was a tussle. Now, in 1993, what we today know as European Union came into picture, and that happened because of a treaty called the Maastricht Treaty. So European Union came into picture in 1993, and along with that, what we know today as the European Union, which is all powerful, which has political and economic clout, where countries are not seen together as a separate identity but as a whole economic community with common citizenship rights, united foreign policy, a single currency, especially the euro. All of that was introduced in 1993 by the Maastricht Treaty. Now, even after Maastricht Treaty, obviously Brussels became very, very powerful, and similarly there were some tussles between UK, and not only UK, many other countries with the European Union. Then came 2007. In 2007, another very important treaty was signed, which is called the Lisbon Treaty. Now, in Lisbon Treaty, basically the powers of the European Union were widened. It became all powerful, and many countries did not like it, which obviously was the case with United Kingdom also. Gordon Brown, who was the Prime Minister at that point of time, reluctantly signed the Lisbon Treaty in 2007. In 2013, in the British elections, David Cameron was the Conservative candidate, and he promised that if he becomes Prime Minister, he will do a referendum in United Kingdom to decide whether United Kingdom wishes to remain a part of the European Union. And that is what he did in June 2016. So in June 2016, a referendum was conducted in United Kingdom with a simple question whether people wish to remain as part of European Union or they wish to leave the European Union. So eventually, a majority of people, 51.9% of the people, voted in favor of leaving the European Union, and subsequently that has happened. Now, After this, David Cameron, who was a supporter of the European Union, resigned as the Prime Minister, and subsequently in October, Theresa May became the Prime Minister of United Kingdom. She was also a Conservative Prime Minister. Now, when she became the Prime Minister, she went ahead with the process of the separation from the European Union and decided to invoke Article 50 of the Treaty of the European Union. And Article 50 meant that there is a transition phase which will begin. It's a 2 years notice. So United Kingdom was supposed to leave. The departure of the United Kingdom was supposed to be around 30th of March 2019. But on 30th of March 2019, her proposal, her deal with European Union did not pass the British House of Commons, and it failed. Now, she tried after that to revive that deal, but unfortunately it did not happen, and she had to resign. Now, a lot of you would be aware of these things as to what was going on in the British House of Commons. But one issue which led to the failure of this deal was the issue of the Irish backstop. Now, many of you would have heard of this term. Let me explain to you in the easiest way possible as to what Irish backstop was. So basically, Northern Ireland is part of United Kingdom, but there is a separate Republic of Ireland, which is a separate country, which is still part of the European Union. Now, the problem was that there was a long war which went on between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland for a very, very long time. British forces were sent to Northern Ireland. It was a very bloody war. In 1998, around that period, the matter was resolved, and there is currently also no hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Now, because of the British exit from the European Union, the problem was now again, because Northern Ireland was a British territory, there was a possibility that there could be a hard border with checks, with customs, everything between Northern Ireland and Ireland. So that created a huge turmoil. A lot of people did not like it because it would have taken back Northern Ireland and Ireland to the bloody days in which thousands of people died. So that became a huge issue, and because of that, the deal could not actually pass. Subsequently, as you know, Boris Johnson became the Prime Minister. Now, Boris Johnson also renegotiated. He asked for extension, and subsequently extensions were given up to October 31st, for example, 2019. Boris Johnson said that eventually he would get out of the European Union even if there is no deal by October 31st, 2019. But he tried. Unfortunately, it did not pass. So he again asked for an extension, and that was given up to January 2020. Now, in January 2020, again, he saw that there is no scope that he could get a deal passed. So he asked for a general elections. And in the general elections, which happened, Boris Johnson again became the Prime Minister with a good majority for the Conservative Party. So the Labour votes went down. Conservative Party won the election, and that gave him that power that he could get ahead with a deal. So eventually, he was able to make a deal with European Union, and that deal was passed in the British Parliament. And then there was 1 year again transition phase, which ended by the end of 2020. So in this turmoil, a lot of things happened, and a lot of apprehensions were there as to how United Kingdom will stand in front of European Union, what will be the relationship between the two now. So more or less, there have been certain changes. So the free movement of people, on which Nigel Farage, the UKIP, the United Kingdom Independent Party, and Boris Johnson, people like Boris Johnson, Nigel Farage, all of them, they basically told people that those are the issues on which they should vote. Those issues obviously were of critical importance. So now the free movement of people obviously will not be there. There will be certain extra documentation for any goods to enter the United Kingdom's territory. That will also be required. A lot of companies are shifting from United Kingdom to European Union, but that obviously was expected when the entire process was going on. So that basically is happening right now. In fact, there was another controversial law which was recently passed. It's called the UK Internal Market Bill. Now, UK Internal Market Bill was in a way designed to look after the markets in the United Kingdom itself. So whether it's UK, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, all of those territories, how do they interact with each other in terms of trade after Brexit? That was the idea behind it. But again, it became controversial because of its conflicts with the agreement that was done with the European Union. So that also became a huge issue, and subsequently it was passed with certain amendments. But that is the current situation in United Kingdom. It is to be seen in future as to how United Kingdom is able to grow out of this divorce it had with European Union. One effect of this has been that there has been demand for a very long time in many other countries in European Union that they would not like to be part of the European Union. So that remains, and it has grown. The other part is that obviously because UK is suffering in the short term as of now, that has created an example also at the same time for the other countries that being part of the European Union would be of great importance to all of them. So I hope you've understood at least the basics of Brexit and the British exit. Please tell us as to what other issues you would like us to deal with, and we'll be very happy. Type it in the comment section below, and we'll again come up with some important topics and discussions of national and international importance. Stay tuned and subscribe to IMS GSL channel. Thank you.